Can you hear me?
Yes.
It's Christmas Eve, 1982. 10 years earlier, in 1972, when I was a young teen, my father died of a prescription drug and alcohol overdose. He had been an alcoholic of the Jekyll and Hyde variety. So on this Christmas Eve, 1982, my only brother, my only sibling, Jeff, and I are sitting in the home we grew up in, the home my father died in, with our mom in front of a roaring fire like this one. We're chatting, we've had a nice meal, and at one point during the conversation, my mother got up and went downstairs to get something that was related to what we were talking about. She went down to the basement from the living room. And after just a minute or two, my brother and I heard this sound coming from the basement. It was this, oh no, a drawn-out sound that was unlike anything I'd heard come from my mother. So we made eye contact, my brother and I. We rushed downstairs, and my mother at first had her back to us, and she turned around and she was very pale, and she was holding something in her hand, and she extended it out to me and said, "Explain this." So I took it from her, looked at it. It was an old photo album I'd had as an adolescent. It had this vinyl psychedelic cover and this chunky zip on 3 sides. And it had this kind of small footprint that you could only put one photo on each page. So I opened it, and I started turning the pages, and the photo on every page is blank. Nothing there, just white photo stock with a few splotches here and there. And then I get to a page where it's a completely clear photograph of my father smiling into the camera. Turn the page again, blank, blank, blank. And so I actually at the time didn't believe in ghosts. I knew my mother was a very, very rational woman. She wasn't superstitious in any way. And I felt this burden on me to explain this. So I thumbed through the album, and I started remembering what had been on those pieces of paper. Pictures from slumber parties, vacations with my cousins. And then I noticed that the photos that were blank were rectangular, and the splotches had a little bit of color where there had been an image. And the photo of my dad, when I turned back to that, was square, and it was black and white. And then I noticed there was kind of a fringe along the edge, and it just kind of occurred to me all of a sudden that this one photograph had been a Polaroid camera that we'd had for a little while, that had been lent to me. I generally only had access to a Kodak Instamatic. So I sent that to my mother, and she looked dazed at first, but she accepted it. And we went back upstairs, and she still looked kind of shaken up, and she said, "You know, I don't know if you realize it, but tonight would have been mine and your father's 30th wedding anniversary." They had been married on Christmas Eve, 1952. And she said, "I really just thought that I had seen a ghost." Thank you.